Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I am a voice teacher. Today I will be reacting to and analyzing Caroline Polachek performing So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings. Santiago requested this on Twitter. He said it's super interested to see you react to Caroline Polachek singing that to me sounds so angelic but also futuristic. Can't really put a name to what she does with her voice. It's almost like auto-tune but live. LOL.
Not like I'm counting the days, but it's been 25. You're out there killing the game.
Okay, so first off, I'm not hearing any actual autotune on her voice. It sounds fairly unprocessed to me. I know it's not, but it sounds like I don't hear any autotune on it yet, which just sets us up to see why are some people hearing that kind of auto-tune quality?
But damn, I miss you tonight. And I'm out at a party, they're playing our song and cry on the dance floor. It's so embarrassing. Don't send me photos you make, and it worse cause you're so hard, it's hurting my feelings. I get a little lonely.
Cool. She plays a lot with just hold on and release. With this, it's kind of yodely, but there is a distinct quality change when she goes up into those high notes and you hear her let go. And that's a very useful thing. A lot of what I do with voice lessons is try to get rid of that so that it can be intentional whenever you actually want it like this. You hear that it's using quite a bit of air though, and she's using those breaths as a kind of stylistic thing, right? It would sound totally different if she wasn't going if you don't hear that breathy sound within it. And I think that breath sound actually serves a purpose. It's not just oh man, she's running out of breath. However, she's also probably using a lot of breath with this. Most pop music doesn't require very much breath. I wouldn't stress too much about needing just massive amounts of air unless you're not able to get through phrases. But she is, so it works.
You're the only one who knows me, babe. So hot, you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal with all the X-rated dreaming.
I just love hearing those moments where it sounds a little bit more spoken. There's obvious parts where it's oh yeah, she's singing and it's up and it sounds singy. And then there's parts where I think that you could say, wow, she's speaking it. So at what point does it become speech and what point does it become singing? Those terms, they are weird, but I don't know. When is singing and speaking different? I would love to know your opinions on that. Leave some comments in the comments.
Back on the coast-to-coast life. You know I live for the hustle, but damn, I miss you tonight. And I'm out at a party, they're playing our song and cry on the dance floor. It's so embarrassing. Don't send me photos you make, and it worse cause you're so hard, it's hurting my feelings.
Her voice is so percussive on this song. I love it. It's really interesting with the I love it. And that's a purposeful thing. I'm sure she could sing with a much more legato phrase, but she's kind of breaking it up like that. I think that sometimes it's difficult to just get that if you can't sing the legato phrase. So that's another reason that I really focus on being super legato with most of my students from the start. Because once you kind of get that, I think it sets us up well to be able to go do more of this kind of marcato stuff or even full staccato. It just helps the other way.
You're the only one who knows me, babe. So hot, you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal.
Yeah, that's just playing with holding on and flipping. It's doing that in a much more controlled way, obviously, a much more musical way. But you can kind of start finding that sensation just by letting yourself yodel. And then start asking for it to be on specific pitches, and then become musically great and put it all together like what she's doing. Like there are a few steps that you kind of have to go through to get that. But I do kind of hear how that up and down, how precise she is. It does sound kind of electronic.
At a party that playing our song, I cry on the dance floor. It's so embarrassing. Don't send me photos you make, and it was 'cause you're so hard. It's hurting my feelings. I get a little lonely. Get a little more close to me.
That gasp that she did before that, like it sets us up as like, oh man, there's something coming. And when you hear more fully produced tracks, there are elements of that all over, like these sweeps going right into bigger sections, because it just sets us up for, here's this next big section. It's pretty cool that she's doing it without all of the production stuff.
You're the one who knows me, babe. So hard you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal. So hard you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal. So hard you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal. So hard you're hurting my feelings. Can't deal.
Yeah, she's cool. That's a really good performance. She seems so confident and casual, and just, it's like it's breathing. There was that one moment in the middle that I think that she like thought that she messed up something on the piano. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to the piano quite as much as I probably should on that first run through, but I love how she just kind of played it off and kept going. And I think that's something that we need to just practice a lot of, giving ourselves permission to keep going when part of our brain judges something as a mistake. And so that's something we have to practice a lot of, just noticing what's actually happening in our mind. Even just saying, hey, that's a judgment, and then letting it go away is really, really valuable. And that's a skill that I learned from Headspace, not a sponsor, but if you want to be a sponsor, Headspace, send me a message because I like your product. They talk a lot about noting. So they'll ask me to close my eyes and then breathe and focus on the breath. And inevitably, some thoughts and feelings are going to start coming into your brain. And some of those might be bad. It's like, man, that sucks. That's a judgment. That's whatever. And if you're practicing it in a meditation like that, I think it really sets us up well to be able to apply it when we're actually performing. So that maybe something will pop in as, oh, that's bad. Cool, judgment. And then just keep going, because you don't need to actually fall for that. You don't need to say this judgment is true, because most of the time our judgments are going to lie to us, and it's not going to set us up for success. So we need to just practice going, continue going, and eventually, like, hopefully you'll be so in the character that you're performing that, you know, you can keep going because of that. But it is something that you need to practice quite a bit. So I loved that. I'm also just obsessed with that line, so hot you're hurting my feelings. That is a fantastic line, and a lot of times lyrics don't really pop out to me, but I love that lyric. Yeah, Caroline is good. I have her in my library, but I haven't listened to her as much as I probably will now. So thank you, Santiago, for your request. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, go follow me on social media, send me a lot of money, just, you know, mail me checks, send me so much money, because I want all the money, and that's the only reason I'm doing this, is so that I can get tons of money. So send me those checks, and have an excellent day. Thank you.